The world of psychology is far from strange than the usual Dr. Irabu, a resident psychiatrist of Inaba General Hospital. He and his charming nurse, Manny, run through several patients, each suffering from mental illness that harms everyday life. Patients should be very wary of the seductive Mayumi with her spellbinding looks and devilish short pink nurse uniform. On the other hand, the doctor seems to have three separate personalities: a child with an oversized lab coat, an intelligent youthful man with feminine traits, and a selfish outgoing green bear. While carrying his pages in questionable ways, Dr. Irabu often tries to gain something from them outside of his profession, and in doing so, occasionally forgets his role as a doctor. As each patient struggles to face the nature of their distress, an obvious invisible thread ties their paths together. This anime has about 11 episodes. It premiered October 15, 2009 to December 24th, 2009. Based off a novel, genre is drama, theme is medical and psychology, and demographic is setting. Each episode is 20 minutes per episode and rated R and 17 plus for violence for fanny. Let's get started into the review. When I first watched this anime, I was enthralled because when you're watching the first episode, you get the story of Dr. A psychiatrist who happens to be, a very skilled doctor who welcomes many patients and treats them in very different ways. And the story kind of revolves around people with disorders such as OCD, NPD, and many others. And the story takes place within like 10 days. And all stories somehow affect one after the other, whether it be after a minute or dramatically. But now it's at the point to where sometimes when you first watch it, it might throw you back. But the story is very lighthearted for the most part, and the comedy is endless. In this case, for lack of a better word, the art style is very bright, very catchy, and sometimes the strange art style might throw you back. It's kind of just like where in the audience kind of like cardboard, and the other characters are like human, and sometimes they're more like in the anime form or human form, especially with the nurse herself. Overall, the voice actors bring the characters to life because the doctor goes from three different personas: middle-aged man to wearing a bear mask, to his child form, to his voice changing from another young man with very feminine features. But now that being said, with the rest of the cast, just very nothing extraordinary, just average, but they play their role very well. And each time we introduce a new character in every episode, we get introduced to them, to their disorder, them turning into animals, and the doctor being very nonchalant while his nurse is very, what's the word to describe her? One noted, but also get a shots here and there, fan service. But other than that, the interchanging cast and the patients do really well when it happens in one episode and they follow the next one. And then also, I feel like overall, and the enjoyment factor of this anime, it does keep you on the edge of your seat because you don't never know what's going to happen, especially with these patients that come in to see the doctor with their disorders and how they're going to be cured. But I will say the bright characteristic of the doctor and his eccentric personality, along with dealing with these very eccentric patient, does keep you on a roll. It's very different in the sense of that it's generally more the psychology of these patients and the emotions and their personal distress to these characters, let alone the doctor who forgets sometimes that he is actually a doctor. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that it is very strange, give more like Alice in Wonderland vibe, but if it's not your cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. I think this is type of the anime that, the more you watch it, you'll get used to it, or if it's not really your thing, that's okay as well. But definitely give it a shot, especially with his bright, vivid personalities and the patients that come through his office on a daily basis. It does give it a forward spin, and especially with when I first saw him in this bear mask, I'm like, so the mask never comes off unless it's switching to his other personalities, which we do see interchangeable, nice tradition of all three of them when they're dealing with patient and their mental or physical illness that they come for him for. But definitely check out Welcome to Irabu Office and let me know what you think. But until then, I'll see you next time for another anime review. But until then, bye!